What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Balanced Perception YouTube channel. And today we are back with an item that has changed everything. That is this device here and this device here. What are these items, you ask? I'm glad you asked. We are going to go over that today, and you guys are probably going to want to invest in these too, especially if you're 3D printing. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so as you saw by the title, today we are checking out this item and this item. What are they exactly? So glad you asked. This is a pressure dial indicator, specifically one created by WEN, W-E-N. Don't worry, I will link that and this item along at the bottom, so don't worry about that. Anyways, what this does is it allows you to quantify the pressure that is being exerted on your bed by your nozzle and your 3D printer. What it really helps though, all that is just mumbo jumbo for saying, it allows me to get my corners in my bed extremely level. This right here rides over the surface of the bed and tells you the pressure at each spot. By making the pressure unanimous across, as closest to unanimous as you can get, it tells you that your bed is level. This has been a huge problem for me with 3D printing, as I've only been able to estimate. I've done it by feel. I'm sure most of you guys use the paper method, and using the paper method, it's all based off of feel. And then you do a test print, you see if it's too high or it's too low, you dial it in, and it's just, it works. And I've been using it to print, large items like this here, or several of the other items you've seen in my past, but this right now will allow us to quantify exactly what we are printing. So we're gonna hop over to our printers and check this thing out and in its glory and its action. So let's hop over to it. All right guys, so here we have our CR10 dial gauge holder along with the gauge itself. We are going to be hooking these up to our CR10. I did just print an Ender 3 one, but I am going to be using the CR10 one because I have a CR10 also. So it's the exact same process if you're using a CR10 or a CR3. I mean a CR10 or an Ender 3, but yeah, we're just gonna be doing the CR10 for now. So let's go ahead. You're gonna wanna go ahead and heat up your bed. So that has been done. And then this literally just slides on here like slow. It just attaches right on, it's perfect. Again, I will link this file for you guys below. And then we insert our gauge right there and slide it in. Boom, it slides right in. I did have to bore out a little bit of the hole here so that it would fit inside, but it still works. Once we have our bed heated up, we're gonna go ahead and run our dial gauge code. Our dial G code, which is also going to be linked below. So let's go ahead and do that. So we are currently running our dial G code, and I just want to mention that before I ran this, I actually went ahead and put, I leveled it based off of my old school paper method to make sure everything was approximate. So now I know that the bed is relatively level, and I'm just using the dial to get it exactly where I want it, to make sure that all sides are, pretty much as close to as even as possible. All right, so again, I went around and made sure that each part was level with my paper, as close as I could get it. Now we're just doing the final steps. So you're supposed to use a paper slip under here to raise up the needle so that it doesn't bump into the bed. I just go ahead and raise it as it gets closer to the bed. I'm just watching the actual LCD screen, and when it says it's gonna move over to the bed, I just pick it up. So right now, I just pick it up because it's moving over the bed. So, and then I just let it go on there. Got a little bit of filament there. I know this side is level. So right now I'm lazy, I don't want it to set to 0. So I see we're somewhere around 65. So I know that every single corner needs to be around 65 because this corner is for sure level. So the gauge double checks, it says 65 here. It's going to slide over to another corner in a second, come on. Once it actually goes, there it goes. And now I want to make sure that this back corner is also at 65 because that's how I know it's level. So this corner is at a little bit less than, or almost at 60. So I'm just going to go ahead and boom, adjust it to 65. Hopefully you guys could see that, but all I did was loosen the bed a little bit and it got it back to 65. So now I know that these two corners are both level. And we're just gonna go around and do that for every single corner and make sure they are at 65. So let's do that. All right, so we completed our first round, or what you would say, of the pressure gauge to make sure that every side is correct. It's just gonna go around and do the exact same thing one more time to make sure that all of our measurements are correct. So let's just go ahead and watch it and make sure that every side is in fact correct. So our program has just completed. We know that all the sides are level according to our gauge. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the gauge and the holding device. So again, remove this. And now we're gonna do our test print. I'm gonna go ahead and print a small Bulbasaur. So let's watch that and make sure all sides are level. All right, this is our very first print after we leveled everything. It just finished up. This is Bulbasaur. So if you guys can see him, yes. So that is it. We can go ahead and, the bed's not done cooling yet, so I can't pop it up just yet, but that is it. All right, so here we have it. Our Bulbasaur is complete. Yep, the bed is cool, I can pop it off. This is our very first print after we leveled the bed using the gauge, the depth gauge, or sorry, the pressure gauge, and using our attachment. So as you can see, it works very, very well. I'm absolutely loving this. It's a complete game changer. So here we have it. All right, so as you guys saw, we were able to use the pressure dial indicator to get exactly what we needed from our 3D printers to make sure that the bed was level. Again, I'm kind of lazy, so I don't always set it to 0. I just level one corner personally, make sure that corner is level, and then I check it with a piece of paper to make sure it's level, and then I look at the pressure at that level, and then set the other corners to that pressure setting. So that's one way to do it. There's tons of ways to do it, but that's just the way I got it done. And this is our Bulbasaur from our print. As you can see, it came out very well. Even though I'm actually using some of the test filament that came with my printer, I don't like that stuff, but it turned out very well. I think I might blow this up because it is a planter that, you can plant plants in, blow it up to about this big and plant some of my carnivorous plants in. It would make perfect sense because Bulbasaur is kind of like, an attack-based creature or whatever. Anyways, though, I digress. This right here is the dial gauge holder. I will say, if you order this gauge, it works for CR10s, Ender 3s. It came with a back on it that protrudes. It has like a little hook on it. I just took that off and you can see the back is exposed. Just take it off, it works, or you can find one without the hook on the back. But as you guys can see, it works perfectly fine. Once again, I bored out the bottom of this right here to fit this dial gauge. Boring it out was nothing more than taking a pair of scissors and just riding along the inside of this until the hole became bigger and large enough to fit my gauge. So once again, very easy things to do. I had to do that because I did not measure in Mesh Mix or anything the size of this hole, and I was just really lazy, and I just ordered a gauge and I knew I could make it work. So it wasn't very precise in that, but if you want to be more precise, you can definitely check this file as I'll have it linked. I'm sorry, I have to give credit to the creators of this file. I can't remember off the top of my head. I will have to definitely link it for you guys and give credit there. But thank you so much for creating this. I think it was off of Thingiverse, so it works extremely well. Anyways though, this right here is a game changer. Again, it takes the guesswork out of leveling your bed, and leveling your bed, oh my gosh, it solves so many problems. It solves clogging issues a lot of times, under extruding, over extruding. I mean, of course you have to make sure your settings in your printer are dialed in correctly, but leveling your bed takes care of a lot of things. So definitely look into this if you are 3D printing cosplay items, as I'm sure it will greatly help you. Anyways though, thank you all so much for checking out this episode. I greatly appreciate it. And until next time, stay balanced. See you all. Bye-bye.